very handsome today. I want to show you something. I did a blog yesterday, and during the middle of the blog, it ran out. The tape, it stopped. I don't know why it stopped. I was talking about pedestrians and cyclists getting hit or killed in Toronto. It said 47 people in 2018 get hit by cars in Toronto. Who gets hit by a car? When I was a kid, my bubby used to call it the machine. Watch the machines. I was 8 years old. I lived on a street called Arnold Street, A-R-N-O-L-D, in Philadelphia. It was a residential street, one way. You can only go one way. One day the car was going the other way. Somebody hollered, "Hey, buddy, you're going the wrong way. It's a one-way street." And he said, "I'm going one way." It's a horrible joke. But it's a regular street, a street. And even then, I was 8 years old. I wanted to cross the street. The kids were playing baseball or something. I wanted to know if I could cross the street. My mother used to watch me cross the street. My mother said, "Yeah, well, you can cross it." I was 8 years old. But I knew when crossing the street, you look both ways. There's cars. My bubby used to call it watch the machines. She would call the cars the machines. I told my kids when I did this blog yesterday, I told my kids when you're growing as kids, if you're crossing the street with your friends, don't get distracted. If your friends are across the street or somebody says, "Hey, Lauren, hey, Jared," don't ignore them until you get across the street. When you get to the traffic light and the light turns green, a little man's walking, don't go. Make sure the cars have stopped. Make sure the cars are slowing down to stop. Just don't walk like all the other Canadians. As soon as it turns green, they start walking. Cars go through red lights, cars go through stop signs. Make sure all the cars are stopping. Just don't walk like all the other Canadians do. And I said at Yonge and Dundas, there's a four-way cross. You can walk this way, that way, that way, that way. As soon as the light changes, all the Canadians are walking. 47 people get hit by cars. There's the lens, hopefully I'm talking correctly. 47 people get, so I look this way, 47 people hit by a car. Who gets hit by a car? Killed. You know why? Because they cross in the middle of the street. Andrea always crosses in the middle of the street. I never cross in the middle of the street. Anywhere you're in Toronto, in the middle of the block, whatever, it takes a minute to walk to the traffic light. I timed it, a minute. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, I timed it. So when I go with Andrea, we go to restaurants wherever we go. She parks in the street, and the restaurant's right across the street. She says, "Come on, no cars are coming." I said, "I'll see you at the restaurant." And I walk to the traffic light. And like I told the kids, I make sure the light turns green. All the cars are slowing down. I still look back and forth. I like me. I like me. I like all I got, this beautiful physique. I like it. 47 people get killed by pedestrians because they go in the middle of the street. I see them all the time when I'm downtown, when I'm out in the city, in the public. I see them walking in the middle of the street, and they're waiting. Cars are going back and forth like the Indy 500. It's the stupidest thing I ever saw. God's laughing at them. God's saying, "Are you out of your mind? I gave you this fantastic body." And you're walking in the middle of the street, these gigantic machines, as my bubby used to say, these gigantic machines are coming at you. People are nuts. We all know they're nuts. And then you have the bicyclists, the cyclists, who are even crazier than the pedestrians, crazier. They start these bullshit organizations. We have a right to ride our bike. We should ride the bike. There should be laws about riding a bike. One time, one guy was parked. He opened his car door, and a bicycle guy came and hit the car door. The bicycle guy came. The bicycle riders are out of their minds. They're out of their minds. Why are they out of their minds? Because the drivers are insane. And if the drivers are insane, you gotta be out of your mind to ride a bicycle. Hopefully I'm talking this. You gotta be out of your mind to ride a bicycle on these streets. And I don't mean on the side streets, neighborhood streets. I mean streets where there's lots of cars. I used to go with Andrew downtown in the morning when she worked downtown. It was like a bicycle race. How many bicycle riding. And here's the other crazy part. When you're in the street in Toronto, and there's only two lanes, one lane that goes this way, the other lane goes that way. That's all it could be, because if you're going this way, there's a curb next to you. There's a curb, there's a sidewalk. There could be nobody else next to you. No other cars next to you. Because it's only two lanes, you're on a street. One lane goes this way, one lane goes that way. So then you look right next to the bike right next to you. How could there be a bike right next to you? Because the people that drive the bikes don't obey the traffic rules. You figure a bike is like a car. It's a vehicle. It should be behind you like every other car. It can't be next to you. So if you're in that lane, you're waiting at the traffic light, you want to go forward, you want to make a right, there's no reason to look over here to see if there's a car next to you, because there can't be a car next to you, because there's a tree, there's a park, there's a bench, there's a sidewalk. There's no other cars next to you. Why would you look this way to see if a car is next to you? But what's next to you? A bicycle. Some guy in a bicycle. So when you want to make a right turn, he's right there next to you. You got to look there now. You got to expect a bicycle rider to be there. He's not supposed to be there, but you have to expect it because that's the way it is. Why would you expect it? Andrea was driving a few days ago. Went on the street. One way, the other way. And on the way she's going, if you look to the right, there's stores, there's a sidewalk, people walking. And as she's going that way, there's a bicycle right next to her. Right next to her. It's like if people weren't walking on the sidewalk, but they were walking right on the street next to you. Why would they be on the street next to you? Why would a bicycle rider be right next to you? Shouldn't be next to you. Should be behind you. So all these bicycle riders are getting killed. There's no reason to get killed. A few days ago, some lady got killed by a truck. It's stupid. Nobody has to get killed. Nobody has to get killed walking across the street, and nobody has to get killed riding a bicycle. This is what you do. You don't ride the bicycle. Well, I have a right to ride the bicycle. There's laws, and we have rights. We need bicycle lanes. And what is all the bicycle organizations doing, or people that ride bicycles? They're hollering at the city. They're hollering at the mayor, the governor, whoever we have in Toronto. They're hollering at all of them. You have to make it better. You have to teach the drivers. It has nothing to do with the bicycle riders. To the bicycle riders, it's the drivers, it's the city. We have no bike lanes. We need better bike lanes. We need better laws. But that's the way human beings are. They don't take responsibility for themselves when shit happens. It's always somebody else's problem. They blame somebody else. Does it really matter when you blame somebody else? The blame doesn't matter. I know people tell me how hard they work. Oh, I work so hard. I'm working so many hours out, working. They never have any money. They're busy. Oh, I put in 10, 12, 14-hour days. They equate working and busy with money. Well, that makes sense. If you work and you're busy, you're making money, right? But what if you work and you're busy, you're not making any money? Something's the matter, right? No? Keep working, keep being busy, keep doing the same merry-go-round, not making any money. It's the stupidest thing you ever heard. Yeah, you try different things. I'm a gambler. I'm at the casino right now. And you just dropped me off at 6:52 a.m. I'm reading the paper. You say, why not I gambling? Because I want to read the paper. Tim Hortons hasn't opened up yet. 3 hours I have to wait for a bagel. And Andrew took me to the casino on Wednesday on our way to work because the casino's on our way to her work. So I took the newspaper with me. I like to read the paper in the morning. Reading about E3, these gamers making a fortune in California. That's why I like to read and get on top of what's going on in the world so I can replicate and make billions of dollars. So I took the newspaper. I left it in Andrea's car. It was wrapped up in a rubber band. How's my hair? I was wrapped up in a rubber band. So I go in the car. I got to get coffee. I got to get a bagel. And the newspaper, on Wednesday, today's Friday, on Wednesday, it's in the car. And I put on the floor, and as I get out of the car to go to the casino, and and just take the trash. So I have to have the trash. Very important, take the trash out of the car. Very important. Have to take the bagel, have to take the coffee, have to take the trash. You can't get the newspaper. And as I get out of the car and starts pulling away, I holler, wait, I gotta get my newspaper. Can't get the newspaper. I have no idea what happened in the news Wednesday. I heard Kennedy was shot. Is he okay? I have no idea what's happening in the news. John F. Kennedy. Did man ever get to the moon? I wouldn't know, because Andrea took the paper with her. I wouldn't know. What's happening with the gas strike? The gas shortage? We had a gas shortage, I remember. Did that ever fit? Because I wouldn't know. Did the Japs ever surrender? Well, I wanted the paper, because I wanted to read about E3. Big gaming convention a lot in California. I read part 2, part 3. I wanted to read part 1. Where's part 1? The newspaper in Andrea's car. That was Wednesday. So yesterday, Andrea picks me up just to get her mother seltzer. The paper's in the car. So I'll just take it with me. But then I go up to Andrea's at the in-laws, have dinner. Then Andrea drives me home. Oh, she didn't drive me home. She was going to drive me home. I thought, I'm going to go get a honeydew. Okay, then walk home. I walked home to get a honeydew. Didn't take the newspaper with me. But I knew this morning she's going to pick me up. I'll have 2 papers. I'll have today's paper, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and I'll have the paper from Wednesday. I have 2 newspapers. Andrea calls me this morning, 6:15. She's getting iced coffee. 6:15 a.m. getting iced coffee at McDonald's. Hung in the horn because she comes to my house at 6:30. Come out. I come out as she's outside of the car. I don't know what she's doing outside of the car. She's getting back in the car. I get in the car. I said, where's my other newspaper that was here? She says, I just threw it away. I said, I just threw it out. I said, is that why you're outside the car? Yeah, I was throwing the newspaper out. Threw the newspaper out. Ah, it's old news. I didn't think you wanted to read old news. Who won, Dewey or Truman? I know one of those two won, Dewey or Truman. I remember seeing Dewey with the newspaper, Truman at the newspaper, Dewey wins. Did Dewey or Truman win? How would I know? Andrew threw the newspaper out. Can you imagine if Andrew threw the newspaper out? Truman would not be, it's a horrible joke. Truman would be holding the newspaper up. How could he hold the newspaper up? Andrew threw it out. Threw it out. I have no idea what happened on Wednesday's news. No idea. Did Nixon resign? I know they wanted to impeach Nixon. Did he ever resign? How would I know? Andrew threw the newspaper out. Then I look in the back of the car. There's bags in the back of the car. McDonald's bags. Why didn't you throw that out? Only my newspaper. It's very important to throw the newspaper. The newspaper wasn't all over this car. It was in a rubber band. I haven't even read it yet. You want to fill me in what's happening, what happened to the news on Wednesday. So I have one newspaper here. And look at this in the paper. Look at the, hold on, how this works here. Look, see? Can you see this? Hell on Wheels. And this lady says, can you see what it says? When she saw her friend, she witnessed an accident. On Tuesday, she was so scared she wouldn't get on her bike again. See that? Won't go on her bike again. And look what it says here. For cyclists, the fear of being killed is real, and it's scaring them off the roads. And see what it says here? She was also biking, north side of Bloor, St. George, Tuesday, and stopped at a red light. When she saw on the corner, a truck hit a cyclist. It was too late. 58 years old. I was so scared I didn't even go on my bike again. Well, that makes sense. Oh, look at that. Uh-oh. Bike lane. Oh, boy. Now that makes sense. Don't go on the bike. Don't drive in these streets. That makes sense. How the hell is this? That makes sense. The person is a bike rider, and many bike riders are. You should see when I go down on Bloor Street. It's like China. How many bike riders are riding on the right of you, the left of you, the in front of you? It's like it's a rally race. It's a rally race, whatever that's called, the Ironman race. That's what it's like in Toronto with a bunch of bike riders. The Ironman race. How's this look here? Like this? The Ironman race in Toronto. That's what it's like with bike riders. They're horrible. They wear no helmets, and they complain, how dare we get hit? Look at these drivers. We need better laws. It's not about them. It's about the drivers. It's your life. It's your body. God gave you this fantastic, unbelievable life. And he's laughing when you're taking the bike out in the middle of the street. Would you walk in Africa with a bunch of lions and tigers? That's what it's like. It doesn't make any sense. So when I read about these bike riders getting killed, they didn't have to get killed. That poor 50-year-old woman, with so much gas, we could drive to Pittsburgh. That poor 58-year-old woman, where's this lens here? I need editors. I mean, editors watching this to edit my blogs. That poor 58-year-old woman did not have to get killed. It's horrible. Got up in the morning, I don't know where she was going, and now she's gone. Family, friend. Because she's riding a bike? Look, there's an article here. 2 girls shot in a playground. That's horrible. 2 little girls. I'll show you what it says here. Hold on. Look at this. Terrible, terrible. Look at this. 5 and 9. That's horrible. That's horrible. 2 little girls, 5 and 9, get shot in the playground? It's horrible. Wrong place, wrong times, horrible. I'll just look here. Shit happens. I don't know why it happens. When I was watching ER, I can't remember the actor's name. I know his mother. He's dying. The doctor gave him the wrong medicine or something. Saul Rubinek, I think his name is. And the doctor there says, she's upset, young doctor. She goes to church and prays to Jesus Christ, whatever. She can't understand why all these terrible things happen to people. Young kids get sick, people get sick, get killed, which is horrible, what she has to do in the show, ER. And he says he's dying in the bed because the doctor gave him the wrong medicine or something. He says, who are you to know why these terrible things happen? He said, if every Jew gave up hope when they were in the Holocaust. I don't know what he said. He said, if every Jew gave up hope while he was in the Holocaust, nobody would ever have any faith in God. Who are you to why you should know why terrible things happen? Who are you that you should know this? He's right. Shit happens. I don't know why it happens. It's terrible. It happens. So these poor little girls that got shot in the playground, it's horrible. People are getting randomly shot in Toronto. It's horrible. I could say you have no control. You don't know what's going to happen. Shit happens. I don't know why. But you do have control. Why is the camera like that? You do have control. I'm trying to figure out this crazy camera. You do have control when you're riding a bicycle. You don't have to ride a bicycle in the street. Well, I have to get to work. I have a right to ride the bicycle. A right to ride the bicycle. Like, I don't know what your financial position is. All I know is if you don't have any money to take the bus, get in touch with me at Dave's TV World at Bell.net. You make a lot of cash, and you have money to take the bus, buy a car, take a bus. You can do anything but ride a bicycle in the streets of Toronto. It's your life. It doesn't make any sense. How do you equate your life with riding a bicycle? Riding a bicycle? Are you crazy? In the street? Look, I don't ride a bicycle, and I see the horrible traffic. Andrew's hollering all the time at the drivers. Nobody obeys the rules. They all go through red lights, stop signs, they speed. And yet idiot pedestrians in front of Andrew's apartment building. They walk in the middle of the street. They got to get to the shopping center. It's your life. How can you not put a value on your life to walk 1 minute to the traffic light to protect your life? 1 minute, no matter where you are in Toronto. I've timed it. I haven't been in every street in Toronto, but I've timed it anytime in the middle of the street. It's 1 minute to get to the traffic light. 1 minute. To protect yourself, to protect your body. Hopefully I'm walking this, okay, this camera. And yet they walk in the middle of the street and they let the cars go this way, and then people get killed. They're rushing across the street. Not only that, the idiots are on their phones walking across the street. They're on their phones, they're looking down on their phones, they're playing video games. They get killed. There was a horrible story of some girl talking to her friend. She's talking on the phone. All of a sudden, no more phone calls. The girl says, hello, hello, no more. Because the girl got hit by a car on the phone. Because they're idiots. What else? Only an idiot does that, right? An idiot. A dope, an idiot. That's all I can say. A stupid, dumb idiot. Devalues your life to walk across the street on your phone in the middle of the street. And only an idiot will take a bicycle, and people I know that ride bicycles, I wish they would holler and complain to me. How can you, I'm talking about this too long, how can you, I'm trying to figure out this blog here, I'm like this. How can you devalue your life riding a bicycle in the streets of Toronto? How can you put a higher value on your rights? You have rights. There's bicycle organizations, bicycle lobbyists, that you should be able to ride a bike in Toronto. And if a car hits you, it has nothing to do with you. It's the car, it's the driver, it's the city, it's the law, it's the street. It has nothing to do with you. You have rights to ride a bicycle. Okay, so ride the bicycle. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard. It's like blaming the tobacco companies for you smoking cigarettes. It's like blaming the alcohol companies. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Now, yes, everyone's blaming the gun association for guns. That's also dumb. Everyone with guns will holler at me. Because it's the human beings that are buying the guns. So I get it that human beings will buy guns anyway, buy guns, steal guns, take guns, whatever it is. So you're trying to have laws written that it's more difficult to get a gun. Because it's so easy. Go, I'd like to buy a gun. Okay, here's a gun. Yeah, Walmart, they sell guns. I don't know. So because human beings are so easy to buy a gun, I guess you want the government to come up with ways that it's much harder to buy, because human beings are going to buy a gun anyway. So you're trying to come up with ways to prevent how does this work? Prevent human beings from buying a gun. So you're saying this city, if you come up with laws, you can't buy a gun to you're 18, 19, 20, 30, 50, that way nobody can get any guns. But we all know people are still going to get guns anyway, because that's just the way it is. It's like prohibition. You get booze anyway, you know the way it is. I don't know what to tell you. That's a separate issue. Right now I'm talking about you personally, protecting yourself, riding a bicycle. If you want to not die, and you want to not get killed, and you want to not have broken bones, don't ride a bicycle in the street. Who cares about your rights? It's up to you. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I know guys, I just heard these crazy stories, they have sex without condoms. There's a long blog. Who has sex without condoms? Who drinks and drives? Who takes heroin? All these horrible things. You're doing it to yourself. Well, I have a right to do it. A right. This is the worst thing I've ever heard. Drinking, driving, cigarettes, drugs, sex without condoms. You're in control of all of this. And yet you eating horrible foods, you're getting big and fat. You're in control of all this, and you choose to do it anyway, because I know you're weak, because you can't help yourself. It's the devil on your shoulder. Oh, beautiful day. I like to ride my bicycle. Go to Dave's TV World at Bell.net. I had to do this blog about pedestrians, and they blame everyone else, the city, the streets, but themselves. It doesn't really matter, they're all dead. Dave's TV World at Bell.net, and nobody thinks like David Bronstein. David Bronstein says, oh my God, look at these crazy cars. I'm not even centered here. Where the hell is the lens? I see these crazy cars. Oh, here's the lens here, so I should look like that. I see these crazy, I'm looking like this. I'm in the phone center, but the lens is over there. This is terrible. I see these crazy cars. I said, I'm not going that street. I'm walking the traffic light. I'm making sure cars slow down to stop. I'm not taking my bike in the street. Are you out of your mind? I have rights. Right to ride the bike. Okay, Dave's TV World at Bell.net. Message me. Gotta make $1 billion. Gotta live a high lifestyle. Gorgeous day. Look at it outside. Hold on. Look at this. Gorgeous day. I don't know if you can see it out here. Gorgeous day outside. Got here at 6:52 a.m. Reading the paper. Should be gambling right now. It's very exciting to gamble so early in the morning, but I want to read the paper. All right, Dave's TV World at Bell.net. Message me. Be in touch with you Monday. Let's make our billions together. And when you go to cross the street, go to a traffic light. Don't be an idiot. And stop riding your bike, or else be as smart as this girl here. Look at this. She's not riding her bike anymore. See this girl? And she's pretty too. She said, I'm not riding my bike anymore. That makes sense. This girl's smart.